Whilst a lot of what I wanted to say for the benefit of record has already been covered by the Expenditure Secretary and the CGA himself, getting into a lot of specific details which are worth repeating any number of times, particularly when you enter your Golden Jubilee year. I wouldn't go into every detail of what I wish to say, but there are certain things, even at the cost of repeating. I see the presence of the media here, which is only right that they should be here to celebrate the 50 years of a very silent, performing, low profile, but high achieving department. In fact, I'll begin my address by appealing to the media that as much interest you take in anticipating and expecting and also writing about the fiscal deficit or about the Monetary Policy Committee's meetings in the RBI, you should actually take in a lot of interest in the silent revolution that this service is providing this country. Because not now, not at the time of Arthashastra, or not just for the future. There is one duty which no government can escape. The better you perform, the better it is for the country. And that duty is to be transparent and be efficient in managing government funds. And that can never be overstated. And it is that in which a lot more awareness in the public mind is necessary. And therefore, very quickly to give a bird's eye view of the service and also the department, departmentalization was aimed at 76, so that every department has its own financial advisors and accounts are kept, and as and when it is necessary to get a picture, the department has the advantage, and therefore having them departmentalized was aimed as one of the important things, and it has served its purpose well, no doubt. If that marked the first milepost, completing 50 years will mark the next milepost. But no, you're completing the 50th year with such a landing on the south pole of the moon, equivalent that is, by the way in which since 2014 digitalization has happened. Departmentalization, digitalization. Remarkable achievement. And so it is just not, all right, one of the government department which has done well and which is there forever and which is going to serve the people of this country, marking 25th year, 50th year, 75th year. No. This 50th year, each one of you all should be served the best, choicest ice cream you want, because it is that kind of a celebratory milepost that you've reached. Not just 50 years, but what kind of work in the last particular 10 years through the digitalization. So if the larger principle that the country has to be better managed, monies have to be responsibly handled and judiciously spent for optimal benefit for the taxpayers, every rupee, it happens here. So you continue to successfully shoulder the payment and accounting duties of the government, which I think has seen a remarkable change. And today we can stand up and say, as much as efficiently managing inflation, as much as efficiently coming up with very important schemes for the poor, the needy, the middle class, and so on, also to keep your country lean and well managed in terms of debt management is not going to be by preaching to people who need the money. Yes, they need the money. By telling them, why do you want to have so much given to you, or by telling them use less of borrowed money, it's not just going to work. But if you're able to in time give them the money, efficiently track how that money gets spent, and therefore reduce your advance estimates about how much you need to borrow, and when you reduce borrowing, overall the country benefits. When you say to an ordinary citizen, it may not fly as much as you would say, I've given you an income tax rebate. But this is how I think the narrative has to go to the common public, that your money, when paid as tax to us, is much better managed today because of efficient use of technology. And that is where the digitalization attempts are bearing results. Now, much has been said about the details of PFMS. I do not want to again go into some of the specifics, but there are, I think, 7 or 8 specific objectives which this serves us, and therefore on that, again, for the appreciation of the media, I would want to say this. The goals, one of them, reaching out to the last mile. The PFMS actually serves us well because 60 crore beneficiaries, and that is the largest in the world of IT-based platforms, which serves in transfer and payments. So it benefits how many people? Over 60 crore beneficiaries. The next goal, direct delivery. PFMS manages over 1,200 central and state schemes. I'm continuously looking at the side where I can see my media friends. Not so much all of you all who are performing this job. So 1,200 central and state schemes, of which 1,100 are DBT schemes. So off the cuff, when citizens are receiving their pensions or any other elements that they should get, whether it is for the gas cylinder that they buy, everything is going via direct payment. So there are no middlemen, no unborn children getting allowances. Everybody who receives has a biometric verified account into which the money goes. So 1,100 of the 1,200 central and state schemes are under DBT. The third objective which gets served is end-to-end digitalization. PFMS integrates 250 or over 250 external systems such as the GEM portal, the GSTN, Tax Information Network, the TIN 2.0, PM Kisan, and many more such. So 250 external systems are integrated and it serves end to end. So that is how digitalization has spread itself for effectiveness. Naturally, the next goal gets served, which is supports cooperative federalism. Now again, when we talk about PFMS integrating systems, what better example can there be of cooperative federalism if only we recognize all 31 state treasuries and 40 lakh or over 40 lakh program implementing agencies. I'll repeat that. All 31 state treasuries and over 40 lakh program implementing agencies enabling unified financial management across states. Look at the dimension. Just look at the dimension of this. A country with over 140 billion population, a country which is the largest democracy, but yet has provincially elected governments, All their systems are integrated and managed by our friends here. So what does this goal serve us for? It's not just bringing the financial management across the states on board to one platform, standardizes reporting mechanisms. So it's not as if one agency is giving one reportage, which is very different from somebody else. Everything is now formatted well, and you're getting it. Why is it important? This reportage is on the taxpayers' money, how it was sent, how it was received, how it is getting spent, who are the beneficiaries. If there is a unified way and a uniform way in which information is spreading, is it not good for transparency? Improved fund tracking and enhanced fiscal coordination. So the next objective, network of networks. So it interfaces, the PFMS interfaces with over 650 financial institutions. Which are those? Both public and private sector banks, National Payments Corporation of India, the NPCI, and the Reserve Bank of India. All are interfaced into this. So network of network is managed by our friends here. Scaling up the volume of transactions. In India now, for the last 1 or 1.5 years, we have always had this, exciting data which comes when we say, how much has been achieved in digital payment interface? How many, QR code payments? How many NPCI other payments? And that runs into billions, and we've got used to saying nowadays, not millions anymore, billions, and we are at ease with it. Now, therefore, what does this PFMS number look like? The volume of transactions has increased exponentially from 2 crore plus in 2014 to 250 plus crores in 2024. And 1 crore transactions on a, will my media friends guess? 1 crore transactions on a daily basis. And one other, but for my purpose, the last of the objective which is getting served. The PFMS continues to adopt best-in-class technology solutions. Now, you wouldn't have heard of, someday collapse, someday half of material available, someday the website not working, someday some state says, no, you're claiming that you sent me this much through the PFMS, I didn't get it. You've never had it. That is because best-in-class technology solutions, adopting object and storage area networks, Elasticsearch, and Blade servers are all in here. You're looking at a civil accounts set of people here. But what are they managing? High-end technology. So, continuing further, you have your TSA, you have the SNA, all that has been explained. But just again, get into the numbers of what's quietly happening. What has it actually given us? The TSA, which is the system in autonomous bodies, right? And the SNA and the CNA are systems introduced for just-in-time release to the states. So the TSA alone, which means the public autonomous bodies alone, have saved more than 15,000 crores in interest cost and since the inception, that is 2017-18. Since 2017-18 till today, the TSA alone has helped us save more than 15,000 crores in interest cost alone. Which means, I can put it this way, if I were to tax something else more and earn that much money, it would have cost pain on the taxpayer. No pain on the taxpayer, but by efficient use, the TSA has helped you save that much on interest alone. So single nodal account, how much has that saved us? It has saved more than 11,000 plus crores since 21-22. Since 21-22, 11,000 crores has been saved by the single nodal agency. Unspent balance parked in more than 15 lakh bank accounts of implementing agencies was consolidated into 4,500 bank accounts. 15 lakh bank accounts have been consolidated into 4,500 bank accounts, better to monitor. So it brings in greater transparency and so on. Just-in-time fund release has helped us to make sure that we don't borrow much more than what we need. Burden on future generations, because I know a lot of people who talk to me often, both within the country and outside, ask us nowadays about debt to GDP. You borrowed so much during COVID, are you going to reduce it? What about the states? Who are going to talk to them? And so on. But we've already shown that one concrete measure through which we know if we manage just-in-time release, I don't need to borrow and keep borrowing just to get them parked somewhere. So that advantage the PFMS has given us. Now, in the name of schemes, I need to mention this, although the 99% of the audience here know it all, I want to say it here. Telangana's Raitu Bandhu scheme, it has supported that scheme. The PFMS has supported the Telangana Raitu Bandhu scheme, which is a Kisan helping scheme, by streamlining direct financial assistance to the farmers. So if PM Kisan Samman Nidhi is directly sending money to the accounts of the farmers in Telangana, the enabling technology is provided by the PFMS. During Kerala's flood relief efforts, the PFMS was the technological support given by our people here, which ensured swift and transparent disbursement of aid. It helped Telangana, it continues to help Telangana, it is helping Kerala. In Maharashtra, scholarship distribution system leveraged PFMS for timely and accurate payments to students. And across Punjab, Bihar, Haryana, Gujarat and Jharkhand, pension schemes for the old age is enabled using PFMS. So, what is that big thing which a central government can do to facilitate in the name of cooperative federalism? You can devolve taxpayers' money, you can do many things about schemes and so on, but this is a silent technological revolution in which states are finding a lot more ease of operation, ease of getting their government business done by adopting the PFMS and the technology, and the silent pioneers are in this room for you. From the point of view of, again, the public, it will be, all right, how many people? Hardly about 1,000 people doing it, 20,000 people doing it. Every person is important, and I was happy to hear the CG mentioning about the 76 posts. absolutely necessary for the service to handle its responsibilities, and I'm very happy to have cleared that. Also, the mission recruitment, which has been launched, the organization has offered appointments, jobs and jobs everywhere. People talk about government jobs. This one department has offered appointments to nearly 1,900 Group C staff across the country. And there are several other things that I can say, but this is recognized by the IMF, as was mentioned by you earlier. The compliance with the IMF's special data dissemination standards is something which has quietly brought in greater international credibility of financial reporting, which is absolutely important because you don't want to be like a banana republic. You don't know what comes, what gets spent, and who's keeper of the books. Everything is available, transparent, online for people to see, and therefore, when the reporting happens, it gets international recognition. I'm also happy to note, which was also mentioned earlier, during the current 24-25, you have resolved more than 17,000 grievances of pensioners, and you have participated in so many pension adalats and pensioners outreach programs, which is a public service. Very good. There is just a lot more to do for a growing country, a country which has aspirations very high, and without setting too much expectation for a team which is performing and continuously performing to improve its own standards. I had suggested in the July 24 budget that for improving data governance, collection, processing and management of data and statistics, different sectoral database, including those established under the Digital India mission, will be utilized with active use of technology tools. So the CGA has the potential to work in this regard, given that PFMS is a huge data set in itself. So that is something which I think holds promise for you and holds promise for the country when you handle it and be able to deliver on it. So I would also like you to examine, in consultation with the CAG, whether it would be possible to make the annual accounts more approachable and user-friendly and allow citizens to analyze easily and generate customizable and simpler reports. Now that there's so much of integration of so many different digital portals, getting so many states on board, there can be a lot more of research which can be carried out based on the data set that you have. So if you're able to make the report a lot more user-friendly, that itself can generate a lot of interest in the work that you do. Although it is recognized, I would still place it on the table for you to consider. Both the Department of Expenditure and the CGA should ensure that the SNA Sparsh rollout itself is smoothly facilitated for all the applicable schemes in the upcoming financial year. CGA should handhold states in seamless onboarding and transition from whichever they have to the SNA Sparsh, and convince them about the benefits of this reform and quick adaptation. Marking 50th year, celebrations are due, is fine. But I think there's more engagement with the states which is required. So as I was seated next to the CGA, I did suggest to him that in the guise of your celebration of the 50th year, across the country. You should engage with your counterparts in the states to speak more about what you're offering and also take their inputs. But that could be one of the very good ways in which you build relationship with the states so that you can smoothen out any doubts in their minds and encourage them to adopt the systems. I'm sure all states have seen the benefit already, but it might just help you to have a conversation with them, and 50th year celebration is just the right time for it. So I would think, look at about 6 different destinations, look at south, west, east, north, center, and the northeast, and engage with governments in those blocks so that you can, in those regions, blocks is an awful word to use in this context, but in those regions, and talk with them. Also, I think there should be a lot more public awareness so that people appreciate that their taxpayers' money is taken so very seriously. Every rupee is taken seriously. And therefore, some public engagements to make people understand that this is the most critical job for the finances of the country, not just for the government of India. And it is this seriousness with which you're handling it and how technology has come of use. It might help to engage with the public as well, knowledgeable public, academia, observers of the Indian economy, and so on. And the last point that I would say is when we talk with countries, when we have our bilateral engagements with them, a lot of interest is shown on the DPI, the digital payment interface that we've created in this country. There are so many countries, not just the global south, much to all our surprise, even developed countries say, oh, your payment system, because you've delivered it at population scale, gives us a lot of idea. And from the India payment portal and the digital stack, some elements are interesting for some countries, some are interested in the entire stack, and so on. So there is a lot of engagement to see how best we can share our expertise in this with them. No less is this achievement of the PFMS, no less than the DPI. And I'm sure there are countries which will immensely benefit by your experience and by your delivery. You should share it with countries. You should engage with countries to say, we have this, we have developed this greater transparency, which IMF has recognized in public accounts and public finance management. We'd like to share it with you, and I'm sure a lot of countries will be interested in see how best they can integrate or retrofit what you've done into their own country's systems. So on this happy occasion, wish you very many more 50 years, and thank you for the great service that you're doing for this country. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Madam. Work.
Secretary Expenditure, Manoj Govil. CGA, Mr. Dubey. Secretary Expenditure, Manoj Govil. CGA, Mr. Dubey. And all officers of the Indian Civil Accounts Organization, the ICAS officers, staff, former CGAs, my congratulations and appreciations as you enter your Golden Jubilee year. Whilst a lot of what I wanted to say for the benefit of record has already been covered by the Expenditure Secretary and the CGA himself, getting into a lot of specific details which are worth repeating any number of times, particularly when you enter your Golden Jubilee year. I wouldn't go into every detail of what I wish to say, but there are certain things, even at the cost of repeating. I see the presence of the media here, which is only right that they should be here to celebrate the 50 years of a very silent, performing, low profile, but high achieving department. In fact, I'll begin my address by appealing to the media that as much interest you take in anticipating and expecting and also writing about the fiscal deficit or about the Monetary Policy Committee's meetings in the RBI, you should actually take in a lot of interest in the silent revolution that this service is providing this country.
Nirmala